Hello. Today we are going to play in makeup. I hope we inspire you to be creative. I'm here with my boyfriend Teddy. He's in the background. He's giving me the peanut gallery comments. And we've also got my special guest today, Alexa. Alexa, volume down. She's always trying to dominate the conversation in my household. That Alexa always takes over every room. So we're going to play in makeup today. I thought we would do one of my signature looks that people love and I get the most requests for Halloween. Like, people pay me money to paint them like this all the time. Can you guys guess what it is? I know I posted a lot of teasers about it. I am gonna paint a skull. So we're gonna get started in just a second. I wanna do a few things just to prepare my skin. Like, normally when I do face paints, body paints, those types of things, I avoid, you want to avoid actually, all of the oils and waxes and things, moisturizers, because the body paint needs to adhere directly to clean skin. So today I'm gonna use a toner that's oil-free and alcohol-free, just to kind of seal off my pores and clean them out. I do this every single day before and after I do makeup. I'm using the Eve L'Homme toner. It's really nice, it's subtle, it doesn't burn, it doesn't sting. It's got aloe vera, so it's quite refreshing. It has a little bit of alpha hydroxy acid for all the skincare geeks. Hi, May. Who else is in here? I think everybody's in here already. All my good Judies are in here. Aura's in here. Hi, Aura. So many good people. Even my mom is in here. Bennett Jason's in here. Thank you guys for tuning in today. So I hope to inspire you today. We're going to play in makeup. I'm going to ask Teddy a favor just to make my camera a little bit taller. Will you grab me that book that's under there? Will you grab me this book, sir, that's right under here? I know it's really hard to get to, but my camera's like, or maybe I'm trying to be lower. Never mind, I take it back. Don't worry about it. I just need to adjust this. Sorry, guys. It's my first day. Just kidding. I have a different setup for when I'm on camera with you guys versus my work. So I just want to make sure that I get a little more height, so I'm above all the comments. Thanks for holding out for me. Okay. Hi, Nick from the Philippines. Hello. Aw, my best Judy. Hey, best Judy. So we've done all my toner. I'm gonna next, I like to get right in here because I get breakouts. So I use toner like crazy here and on my lips. My lips are a little bit dry right now. Don't judge me. I can't have moisturizer on my lips if I want the makeup to stick. So that's one thing that's very different, subtlety wise, from beauty makeup to artistic makeup, is the skin needs to be like clean, fresh, and dry without a lot of oil on it. There are some instances where you would be fine with oil, like if I was using grease paint, which is an oil-based product, or flash color, which is a oil-based product. But I'm going to be using water-based product today. And I want absolutely no silicone or oils on my skin before I do this. That'll make sure everything sticks and blends a little bit better. Okay, I'll curl my lashes a little bit later because I know my lashes are long, they'll get in the way. Next step is to cover the brow. So I don't know if you saw this, but I snuck in a little bit of alcohol on a cotton swab just to remove the oils from my brow. And now I'm going in with my glue stick. Last time I showed you guys how to cover using Prosade cream, which is fantastic, but I was like trying to get that stuff out of my brows when it's not necessary. If I was doing performances, if I was wearing this makeup for hours and hours and hours, definitely go the route of Prosade cream. That'll hold up to all of that. And you want to dry it really good before you apply any powder or anything else to it. So this is just Elmer's glue stick. Every drag queen in America uses glue stick. You'll see it on Drag Race, but they don't show the label. They always just cover it. I guess we're not allowed to show the label on TV maybe. But just craft glue stick. I like the purple one that dries clear. That's my favorite one. For this look today, the brow cover doesn't have to be extremely smooth because we're going to cover it with body paint anyway. I think if I was doing drag makeup or something a little bit different, or more natural makeup for a brow cover, I would really like spend a lot of time detailing that brow. So for everybody that's joining in, I'm so happy that you're here. Happy Saturday. I know things are crazy right now in the world, and I wanted to come in here and just play in makeup, try to take my mind off of it, take your mind off of it for a little bit, so I won't spend too much time talking about that kind of stuff. But oh yeah, totally borrow your kid's glue stick. Glue sticks are like magical. I've used it so many other ways too for special effects. If I'm trying to do something out of kit, you can make cuts out of glue sticks really easy. Glue sticks, I just put like a glob of glue stick on the forehead and then use a spatula to open it up and make it into like a wound. Really, really handy. I think for drag too, if you have sideburns or if you have a lot of hair on this hairline area, you can use glue stick to put that down. And then when you do your drag makeup and you put your wig, like you don't see that hair peeking out. So many uses for glue stick. So I'm powdering the glue stick right now. I'm just using loose powder. This is a white loose powder. If I was doing more of a drag look, I would probably use a fleshier tone powder. And then it starts to add some coverage to the brows. Alexa, volume up a little bit. I thought I'd put some fun music. Some Halloween music. I love Halloween. Hey guys. Oh, hey John. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're playing with makeup. I am going to do a skull. And yes, I did use Eve Lome toner underneath everything. I just finished my brow cover. I'm going to take a fluffy brush just to dust off the excess powder. And then we're going to go into outlining the skull. Now, I've been painting skulls for many years and I've done like a million different styles of skulls. This is, for me, the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to start, because my eyes will need time to adjust, by putting black eyeliner in my waterline. This is a big chubby crayon. I love chubbier crayons for eyeliner. If you guys want to know specific product names, I can tell you. This one is a Makeup for Everyone. Unfortunately, I think they discontinued it. I bought hundreds of them because, not hundreds of them literally, but I bought a lot of them because it's my favorite eyeliner on the planet. I like a chubbier one because I can get in that waterline really good. It stays put. Look, if you ever want to know how to change your eye shape, do it with black eyeliner. Look how droopy and sad it made my eyes because it's so much thicker on the bottom. So that's kind of where all that technique's coming from for doing like corrective makeup and stuff like that. Teddy, will you do me a favor and turn off the heater? It's getting loud in here. If you can hear me. Will you turn off the heater, babe? If you can. It's so loud. My heater is one of those radiator heaters, and I live in New York City where, you know, everything's a little bit older. That heater gets so loud, and it goes all night. Okay, next up, switching to a liquid liner. And this is more, I'm sorry, not liquid liner, gel eyeliner. This is the black waterproof Makeup Forever eyeliner, called Aqua Black. I'm assuming you could use any other black cream liner on the market. You want something waterproof because this is going to be the base to the skull. It has to be waterproof because the paint that we're putting on top of it is water-based, so they're not going to interact at all. This is going to give you immediate dimension to the look. I do have a tutorial of a skull on my YouTube channel already. It's an older one, but I thought it'd be fun to go live and just like talk you through it. And then if you guys have questions, hi Teddy. Teddy's my boo. He's sitting right across from me right now, hearing me in double time because there's an echo. So like I'll say something on here and then like it shows up over there a second later. A delay, not an echo. Okay. Now I look like Uncle Fester. I just need a light bulb to put in my mouth. So I'm taking my Aqua Black and I am completely blackening out my eyes. I'm following my natural eye socket. Now, if I wanted to have more of a sinister appearance as a skull, I would raise the outer corner a bit, and I kind of like that. See how raising the outer corner is going to change the eye shape of the skull or the skeleton face? And it's going to give me more of an evil, sinister type of look. I think if I wanted to be a little bit sad, I could raise the inner corner and drop the outer corner. But I want to be a little bit more attitude today. A little more sassy. So we're going to raise that outer corner of the eye socket. So we're reshaping the eye right now. Now for under eyes, I like it to be a little bit tighter to the lashes. I could follow my actual orbital bone, which is way down here. But if I keep it a little bit tighter, it's going to, again, give you that like lifted, more sassy, more maybe evil type of look to the skull face. I'm just putting thin layers and letting it dry in between each layer. When you work with waterproof product, anything, I would say waterproof pencils, eyeliners, eyeshadows, lipsticks, you want to do it in thin layers, let it dry, and then build additional layers on top of that. There's a reason. When you're doing those types of products, it builds up film as it dries. It creates a film over the product. And if your product is too thick, let's say you do a liquid lipstick and you put it really thick on the lip, those outer layers are going to film up first and dry down and then start to peel and flake, while everything underneath is going to be wet. So that's how you end up with that real chunky, gross, like cakey feel on your lips when you're wearing waterproof. You have to do thin layers, let it dry completely, then add additional layers, and that'll prevent cracking. It'll wear all day without any issue. So someone asked about this brush. This is an old school synthetic brush. Like this is from like the early 2000s. I've still got it. I still use it. So I take all of my old beauty brushes and transform them into body paint and artistic brushes. I try to keep them completely separate. I have 2 separate kits for that, one for beauty, one for body paint, because you cannot interchange those brushes. Your body paint brushes, your artistic brushes have glitter and like residue of product colors that'll transfer into your beauty makeup and make your job really difficult. So how are my Uncle Fester eyes looking so far? Pretty good, right? Looks like I haven't slept in weeks. Okay, next up, this is gonna be crazy, but we're gonna cover right over the lips. Cover them out, we're blocking them out. And you're gonna see when I get to the teeth and the lips portion, how much easier this is compared to what you've been doing. A lot of people will draw on the lips or the teeth with white first and then try to outline it in black. And it'll take you so much time. It'll cut into your client's life as well as yours. You'll be exhausted by the end of the makeup because you're having to draw on all those little details. So I've learned to cut corners over the years. And I do waterproof on the lips because I don't want it to move. I want it to wear for hours. And I can tell you, I've worn this makeup at one point in my life for at least 24 hours, you know, working all through Halloween, starting at like 6 a.m. and then partying, doing people's makeup at the club, and then staying over like till like super late. So this makeup will hold up. So now I'm gonna trace my cheekbone. So follow your bone structure. This is to create the hollow of the cheek. You could do this with a water-based paint in this area, but I like to have a outline of black because I want to start establishing symmetry, and this is gonna help to lay down symmetry in the makeup by having all of these lines on my face. And I'm done. This is it, guys. Finished. I'm ready to go grocery shopping. Let me get my mask. We'll see what people think. Entertain some folks while they're in line. So you can see how I'm already creating that orbital bone, like the bottom side of it here. Teddy's giggling in the background. I look crazy, but this is the bare bones, pun intended, to making a skull. And if you make a few mistakes with your waterproof, don't worry about it, because that water-based paint will cover right over pretty much anything. Now, I'm not going to paint my ears. We're going to keep it pretty simple today. Normally I would do black all through here and down in the neck, and then this would be my light color for the jawbone, but because of my beard, I'm going to avoid a lot of that. I know I should just shave it so I can do makeup, but it's taken so long to grow it, and I feel naked without it. I feel like a baby, and that's not the image I want to be or project. And plus, a beard is so simple. It's less work than shaving ever will be. So this is the beginning of the skull. We are only like 10 minutes in. We've covered a brow. We've laid out the groundwork for our skull. And then we're gonna go into the next steps, which will be to start the painting. Now, I'm gonna wipe off my hand just because I don't wanna make a mess with Aqua Black. Got my towel on my lap, ready to go. Aqua Black, Jenny, you know me. I can't survive without it. It's like my #1 best friend, Aqua Black. Waiting for the perfect black cream liner to come back into stock at any brand at this point, because I cannot survive without it. I'm just gathering a few brushes here. Don't mind me while I look away. So I like this shape of brush in many different sizes in order to create like body paint work. So I've got large ones in my kit. I don't think I have any here with me today, but I have some that are like really big. So like this is a medium one, this is a small one, and then I have some that are like really big, and that will help you cover larger areas of the face or the body. But because I'm working in the small frame, I'm gonna stick to like smaller brushes for this. And then for painting, I'm gonna use wet makeup. Now, wet makeup is a clay-based product. It also has antibacterial agents in it, so it's perfectly safe. And I still sanitize it with alcohol before and after use. But wet makeup is these little cake makeups. I'm gonna use 3 different colors. I'm gonna start with lavender, I'm gonna add highlights with white, and I'm gonna add contrast with black. And you'll see throughout the makeup that I just kind of switch between all three. So that's why I need multiple brushes. You want one brush for each, and then you want a couple of just clean, dry brushes for blending. Let's get started. So I got 2 cups of water. 1 water cup is for light colors, 1 cup is for darker colors. It's important that you keep them separate, because if you do not, you're going to dip your brush that's for white color in the dark one, and then it's going to get gray, and you're going to end up with a big old mess. I'm going to go back in and deepen up my lip a little bit. So I've been talking while it was drying, so it didn't set the way I wanted it to. I'm going to sanitize this with alcohol, and I'm going to hit my waterline one more time. Oh my gosh, I've never heard country Halloween music. Alexa, skip. You're a letdown. You're disappointing me right now. Okay. So I sanitized it with alcohol, shook it out, and wiped it really quickly, and I'm going to hit my waterline one more time. So we've got that really good depth in there. No lashes peeking through, no skin peeking through, really deep. I am going to dip into my water. When you work with wet makeup, you want to like mix a batch of paint. So I put a few drops of water in the middle of my cake and I swirl it around. So those of you that are in the room right now, what other cake makeup brands have you used to do artistic work? Alexa's very confused.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
See, I told you. So I've mixed up a batch of my wet makeup in the middle here. You'll see it now. It looks, see that little bit of paint right there? It looks like mayonnaise. Like that consistency is what you want. That's what's going to give you the coverage that you need. So, oh, Mehron is great. The Paradise paint is amazing. I know Ginny, if you guys follow Ginny on Instagram, she's actually the creator of that formula for the paint, and she used to travel the country for all the trade shows and do demonstrations. Some of the most incredible, I'm sorry, like mind-blowing demonstrations using Mehron's Paradise paint. So if you don't follow Ginny, if you guys don't, make sure you follow her. I don't remember her handle. I think it's Ginny, J-I-N-N-Y. I'll have to look it up and we'll get it back. We'll get it to you. Or if you guys know, put it in below so that we can see it. So now I'm taking my lavender and I am lining out all of my highlights. Now it's important for the brow area that you try not to go over it too much, because we don't want to reactivate the glue. The glue I can already see is already sort of reactivating a little bit, so I'm going to step away, let that area dry, and work somewhere else, and then we'll come back to it later. So this is my skull. I'm following my natural bone structure for most of this application, which makes it more believable, I think. I don't know if you guys ever feel your bone structure, you know, when you do a face massage. I love to start with lavender paint because it is the best color for, it's the best color for creating a smooth canvas. For some reason, in every single formula of wet makeup I've tried, from Krylon to Ben Nye to Mehron to everyone, white is the hardest one to work with. It's so patchy. I'm gonna tuck away my jewelry. White, yellow, and red are the most difficult shades to work with. I think it has to do with the types of pigments that are used in the product. So pigment will change a formula because the pigment particles absorb whatever stuff they're mixed with, whatever mixed ingredients, differently. They spread differently. They have different opacities. So I try to avoid white when I'm doing any type of look unless it's just for highlight. So I start with lavender, and then when I add white later, you're gonna see extra dimension. I forgot to do my nose. So I'm following my natural nose shape. You can definitely feel when you touch your nose where there's cartilage and where there's bone and where it's just like squishy skin. I'm going all the way up to the bone with my aqua black. And remember, if you make a mistake and you go a little too big or a little crooked, don't worry about it, because when we go over it with wet makeup, you'll be able to correct all that. You'll be able to cover right over it. Because remember, my eyeliner that I'm using as a base is waterproof and the wet makeup is water-based. So they're not compatible, they don't mix, but they layer amazing. So you can use this technique for many different illusion type of makeups. Like this will be the darkest point in the makeup too, because it's a really dark black. So see how I'm a little bit crooked? I can just leave it. That's kind of maybe that's part of my character. Maybe my skull was in an accident at some point and ended up with a crooked nose. Ooh, she's busted. Okay. Hey, Sin. Oh my gosh, so many cool people are here. I'm so glad you guys can make it today. So I do have a cocktail. So we're having cocktails and cosmetics. Today, we're having this lovely mixture of orange, banana, and something. I don't know if it's peach or what, but it's like really delicious. Mixed with Tito's. A little Tito's vodka. Not too much, just a hint, you know. I don't want to make a mess of myself on social media. Ooh, let me pour myself a drink. Please do. It's Saturday, honey. We had a rough week. You had a rough week. We've been working round the clock from home. So it's like a little wind down on the weekends. Why not? Last week we had red wine. This week we're having tequila. I mean, vodka. Tequila I cannot do. So excited. Hey, welcome. Welcome everybody. Yes, a skull. That's what we're going for. So you kind of already see the outline that's happening. I did my waterproof eyeliner as a base. Now I'm going in with my wet makeup, my cake paint. So there's a lot of brands out there. Someone's mentioned Maron. I mentioned Krylon. MAC makes one. It's called Chroma Cake. I haven't used the MAC one a lot. I used to work for them and I never really understood that formula back in the day enough to appreciate it. So I think if I had the knowledge that I have now for technique and I went back in time, I would be slaying some Chroma Cake. So this is all, again, just the highlights of the makeup. And then we're gonna start to build in some blending and some dimension using contour with the other shades of the wet makeup. I'm starting with lavender because it's the easiest for coverage. I heart skulls too. So right before this, I was like, Teddy, I wonder how many skulls I have in my apartment. And he went through and counted them all through the living room and the kitchen and the bedroom and the bathroom. I had how many?
70 something, 73,
73. I have 73 skulls, and I know that's not all of them. I'm sure he missed some because I have some that are like hidden in every corner of my house. So I have over 73 skulls in my home. Not real ones, of course. Of course not. But you know, I love them. I always paint them, and then people started gifting them to me. So over time, I've just collected so many skulls. So please don't buy me any more skulls. I don't have nowhere to put them. No, I'll take them. I love skulls. I can't even turn them down, like, at all. Some of them are broken. Some of them I've painted over, and I still keep them. Because you just never know. You'll never have enough. He found another one. He just gasped. Teddy gasped in the background because he found another skull in my house. He's like, oh my God, I missed one. So now you can see the shape really if I sit back. A sucker for skulls. I love them. I wish you could make me over. Yes, Gina, I'm gonna turn you into a monster. So I do beauty classes all week long on the Kevin O'Quan Instagram. On Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, you can tune in and we're gonna talk beauty makeup and we're gonna talk heritage and journeys of different artists and things like that. But on my personal channel on Saturdays, this is my time to be creative. And one of my mentors, Danny Sands, I love that woman. She just messaged me today. She's doing good. She's at home in Paris with her husband, with Papa Jacques. I love her, but one time she told me, and she pulled me aside, and I think it's just stuck with me, is that if you're a creative human being, you need to be creative at least once a month in order to keep that going. And I think I've just been so not artistic and creative lately that I feel like that skill has gone down a little bit. So this is the first time I've done this skull in probably 2 years, I would say, maybe more. It's been a while. So for me to do this today, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also gonna just go with it. So I might make a mistake and we'll turn it into art. Like Alex Mayo said yesterday on my interview. I interviewed Alex Mayo. Do you guys know Alex Mayo? He's a really good friend of mine. We go way back from Albuquerque days. So now I'm gonna take a 144 brush. This is a little bit fluffier, same shape as before, but it's a little bit fluffier, and I dipped it in my water, just the tip, not the whole thing. We didn't go all the way in, just the tip, and I'm getting all that water out of the brush because I want it almost dry. You want your brush to feel cold to your touch, but not wet. And then I'm gonna pick up my black wet makeup, And this one, we're not mixing a batch. We're not trying to make it look like mayonnaise. We want it to be dry. So I keep drying it on the towel. I have a towel on my lap that I can keep drying product on. I've been trying to switch to actual towels versus paper towels a lot because I'm trying to conserve paper towel. I mean, I'm using so many of them in these tutorials. So wherever I can use an old makeup towel or a bathroom towel, I'll go for that. Just know that that towel is not ever going to be the same again. But it's okay because all of my towels are spooky already. I shopped for all of my decor during Halloween time at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. My entire house is furnished from Michael's and Hobby Lobby for Halloween. I don't mind it though, I love it. I love a good Party City Queen too. So I'm just kind of taking the black and softening the edges of the purple into the darker areas that I've already painted with the waterproof paint. And you can see with it dry, I'm getting like a little cast of gray. That's what I want. I don't want it to turn this area black. This is how you start to create those dimensions, right? So where it's bright purple, it looks like it's forward the most. Then here it starts to go backwards a little bit. And then right here where it's the darkest, it's the most furthest back it can be. So I have additional brushes because later on we're gonna go in with full black and really emphasize certain areas and really add some depth. But we're just building it in slowly. You love listening to me, thank you. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit more put together and rehearsed, and sometimes I'm just like off the cuff. Like today when I do my Saturdays, it's more off the cuff. I haven't written any notes or anything that I have to cover. So normally when I go live or when I do a video, I write almost like a script for myself, just so that I have all my talking points and I don't miss anything. But when I go live on my personal channel, it's really just me without any of that. Unfiltered Nick. And I have had a cocktail already with brunch, so you never know what's gonna come out of my mouth. I'm sorry, Mom, if you hear some inappropriateness. My mom's pretty cool though. She don't care. She's got a really good sense of humor actually. And my dad's a complete clown. He's a comedian. So growing up in my household was always interesting. My father had his own plumbing company. He was a plumber, and not just any plumber. He was Charlie the plumber. Like everybody around the globe knows Charlie the plumber. Like we'd go on vacation in where did we go? Yellowstone, and like he would know people there. It was the craziest thing. So everybody knows my dad, and he's a complete clown. So he would be coming home like covered in mud because he's always digging trenches, and then we had like collections of tools and pipes and things to play with as kids. My brother and I would make things. Like I learned how to weld at a really young age, and I would always tear apart the backyard doing all of these like water fountains out of pipes, copper pipes. And I would dig holes and like build a pond. So we were always doing something creative, and they were super encouraging, which I'm very lucky. Like I would destroy the lawn and my parents would just like go with it and let me do it. So I'm super lucky to be in that type of a creative household. And then my mom is a singer, and I was a singer. I don't really sing too much anymore. But my dad plays like every instrument as well, and they've never been to music school. They're self-taught. They don't really read music. My dad's teaching himself now in his 70s how to read music. He just had his birthday, April 2nd. Happy birthday, Dad. But he's taught himself how to play like every string instrument you can imagine. So he's got like a violin, a bass, a double bass, like the guitarron, all kinds of different guitars, the mandolin. So he's super talented. And then my mom's got the most beautiful voice. When I hear her, I think of like Linda Ronstadt. If you like Linda Ronstadt, like that type of a voice, like a diva, can play with different genres. She sings Spanish, country, oldies, all that stuff. See, everyone's saying happy birthday to Dad. Let me have another sip. So now you can see like this dimension starting to happen, where it's like fading into the back, and then this is really bringing forward, and that's what we're going for. So this makeup, I want it to look good from all angles, but I want it to look the best from front on. So that's why I paint in this direction. I don't check this too often, but I definitely want to make sure that I hit all these little areas. It runs in the family. Yeah, music and art and creativity runs in the family. Everybody loves to cook. My brother loves to cook. He's super creative. He's also done a lot of art and painting. I have some of his paintings in my home, actually. I have two. And I walk by those paintings every single morning on the way to the restroom. They're in my hallway, so I get to see see little bits of my family. I've got family members that are like photographers, others that have music in their veins too, that have bands. Like I have cousins that have had their own bands in the past. Very lucky. So there's always this like creative vibe around growing up. So you can imagine how I ended up the way I did. But we didn't have any makeup artists. I'm the first. I don't think a lot of my family even wears makeup. Mostly like skincare. They have tons of lipsticks and things that I've given them over the years. So they always wear those when I see them for the holidays, for sure. I see that. Thank you so much, Anna. This technique is so good. Thank you. You are amazing. I really appreciate that. So this technique for the skull is probably the fastest like skull you can ever create. I'm sure there's people that are faster than me out there and have other techniques, but I love the idea of laying down a waterproof. So you can see I'm like peeking through the hairs a little bit. It's because I overworked it and it was too wet. So I need to let that dry. I'm taking this brush still. It's almost dry. There's not any water in this brush. And I'm just blending now. Now for a skull, I've done them where they're super blended and perfect, but then I like to have a little bit of that texture. It gives character to the makeup, but I could do like the perfectly blended, seamless airbrush look. I really think if I want it to be spookier or more evil or sinister, I like that it's a little bit messy. Okay. A little bit more through here. And now this, I'm not adding any product. I'm just blending what's already there. Brushes and applies. I love to see him. Aw. Yes. Oh, I have my cousins in the room. Hey, Gabby. I always bring like a basket full of lipsticks. So many of them. I have so many lipsticks. Always. My first ever skull was from my tutorial. The colorful one. Yes. Remember when I did that rainbow skull? Oh my gosh. That was so long ago. I don't even know if I have a picture of that. I must have it somewhere on my Instagram. Who did I do that on? My friend Aurora. She was the model. And then when I posted it, someone else did a rainbow skull after me. And I started to get all these like haters on Instagram saying, oh, you're copying so-and-so, you're copying so-and-so. But I actually did the skull first. And maybe she saw mine and copied it, or maybe she didn't. I don't care. I mean, we definitely have similar wavelengths as artists. So it could have been just out of her own mind. So there was like no connection at all whatsoever on that skull. I just say that because, you know, obviously that stuck with me. I have to think about those things. Am I copying somebody too closely, or, you know, is someone going to accuse me of copying them? And I think that's just ridiculous. I honestly don't spend a lot of time, believe it or not, on social media. Like, what you see is what you see. And then the rest of the time, I'm completely avoiding my phone. There's days where I don't even look at it. And if you're looking for inspiration, I try to look for my inspiration more at a museum, like looking at pictures, magazines, looking in nature versus looking at other people's work. And ultimately, there's bound to be some crossover. And if I look at someone's work, it's more, yes, they inspire me, but I look at their technique. That's what I really look for. I look at their brush strokes. I look at the way they hold the brush, the pressures they use, the amount of product they're using. Like, that's how you get to be a stronger artist, by analyzing your work and the work of the people that you really love, and even the work that you don't like. If you analyze it and look at it, why you don't like it, you can say, oh, I just don't like it. But if you say, you know what, I don't like it because the saturation is inconsistent, or the color theory is just all over the place. Maybe they use too many different types of color theory and should edit something, you know? So I do that all the time because I want to improve. So I have specific guidelines on what I like and what I don't like and how to analyze it. And I think anyone that's taken my classes before, we talk about that a lot. We talk about like the rules of art that apply to makeup. So right now, this is still the lavender. I'm building up a little bit here because I had a little oil around my nose that I didn't get with the alcohol earlier. And when there's oil, the wet makeup will not stick. How's it looking, guys? Spooky? I'm gonna put a little bit of this purple in my beard right here, so we can do a little bit of a hint of a jawline through the hair. Oh yeah, this is gonna look good. So here I'm gonna do the jawbone. I don't know what you call this particular bone. Cake makeup for beauty makeup. I've never really done cake makeup for beauty makeup. That's a great question, DJ. But I know that in some cultures, that's actually how they do makeup. They'll use things like wet makeup as foundation, and they do the most, I'm telling you, the most incredible, flawless makeups you'll ever see. My friend David Hernandez actually has a magazine that he showed me when I first started using wet makeup, he showed me pictures of these brides from this country, and that's the product they use to do their makeup. And I'm like just completely in shock, because it's nearly impossible to get this product to blend like that. That takes a really skilled, patient person that understands the formula and the dry time and all of that. So when you work with a wet makeup, a water paint like this, you have to be conscious of dry time, how much water is in the product, how much product you need for coverage, what consistency you're blending and mixing it at. Like, all of these factors play a big role in the success of the makeup. So right now it's pretty humid in New York, so it's taking longer to dry than normal. If I was to do this paint job in, let's say, Arizona or Las Vegas, where it's super dry and hot, this paint would probably dry quicker, so I'd have to work even faster, and it would be a whole different approach. So keep that in mind when you're working with products too. Even, I would say, even beauty products, they have different setting times in different areas of the world, depending on how much humidity is in the air, how much oil is on the skin, how much product you lay down. All of those factors go into makeup. So this is like a modified version of my skull. In Morocco, they use aqua color as makeup base for bridal makeup. That's where they're from, Morocco. Yes, thank you. So like I said, in other cultures, they're using cake makeup that you activate with water to do like the most elaborate, beautiful beauty makeup you've ever seen. They look like porcelain. They look smooth, blended, highlighted, contoured, blush, eyes. Everything they're using is water activated. And I think that the weather there probably also, it works well for that weather, because this will withstand a lot of performance and stuff, because it's so clay based. It sticks to the skin really well. So now I'm going to go back through and bring some light into this dark, blending it into that. See that? So I'm changing the shape just a bit, softening and blending. I like to do maybe a little more, another bone right here. I don't think this is anatomically correct by any means, guys, just so you know. Perhaps I don't know how to use these brushes or products that I buy. Oh, that's the story of everyone's life. There's a learning curve for every product. So before I put something in my kit, I test it and try it on myself, try it on friends, figure out how to make it work. Okay, I'm gonna feel the bone right. I feel the bone right here. So I'm gonna put a shape in here. So this is like a modified version of a human skull. It's not gonna be anatomically correct, but the feeling is there. The resemblance is there. So I'm just adding these things like little details into the makeup right now. Maybe I should color my ear. I was trying to avoid coloring my ear because I don't want to have to clean it later, but I think it looks ridiculous to show my ear, so we'll get that right out. Look at what a difference it's gonna make in the makeup. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get right in there. Ew, cold. My ears, I'm gonna use a Q-tip for the next week and it's gonna have black in it. But look at how much more finished that looks in comparison to this side. It looks completely not framed and unfinished. So I'm just doing wet makeup so it's a little easier for removal, but if I was doing this for a long wear, like if I needed to stay on for a long time, I would use aqua black in the ear. There was a time when I did drag as a skeleton and it was so much fun. It's actually on my YouTube. The cameraman was a little bit drunk, so it's not the best recording. Thank you, Rafa, for the recording though. I don't know, he might have also been dancing, so the camera was not very steady. So you might have to take like a Dramamine before you watch the video. I think it's called Dramamine for nausea, because that camera is all over the place. But this looks good. It's a little bit more framed. What does she say here? Is it true that you can buy the best of the best if you don't know how to use it well? Make it seem like department store product helps. I don't understand that question. You might have to rephrase it. Teddy's laughing in the corner. Either I said something funny or he's up to something. He's up to no good.
No, it's like, because I'm hearing your jokes like delayed.
Oh, that's what's happening. So I say something funny here and then he hears it like a few seconds later. So I'm like, why is he laughing? I don't know if he's laughing at me or with me. So you guys are on a delay. So everything that you're hearing it later than it's actually happening. It's a time warp. Oh yes, Santana's on. I love Santana. So sorry guys, I don't have the rights to this music, but it's just like a random playlist on Amazon. I just said, Alexa, play Halloween music. I wasn't talking to you right now. I was just referring to you.
Halloween party soundtrack.
Halloween party soundtrack. That's what it's called. And now I've lost Santana. Santana is like the sound of the summer. So once it gets a little bit better in New York, I'm gonna start playing more Santana around the house. So I suppose you could like change and morph some of these shapes to be like aquatic, which I like too. If you wanted to do like a merman or a merwoman. Or maybe she's mer non-binary. You never know. Okay, I'm gonna let this black sit for a second because it's too wet. I've been working with it too much. I'm gonna switch over to white. So for white, I'm gonna take a little bit of my white paint. And now I'm mixing a little batch of this and putting it off to the side of the cake. And I'm gonna work from there and mix it in here so that I've got wet product on one side and then dry product in the middle. So more wet from here and drier here. Then I have those different different formulas to play with. I guess what I'm saying is she doesn't know how to use her products. Oh my gosh, you need a makeup lesson. Old school. Old school. And we can definitely do makeup lessons. So if you want more of like tutorials on makeup and how to use products, tune in on Mondays. I'm gonna do tutorials every single Monday on Kevin O'Quan Instagram live, where I take you through beauty products, how to use them, tips, tricks, and all of those things. I'm also gonna start doing lessons with some of my coworkers. My first lesson with a coworker was with my friend Allison from work. That was a couple Mondays ago, or maybe it was this Monday. You'll find it on my YouTube, makeup tutorial with Allison Yang Beauty. And we did a very basic beauty makeup and it was a lot of fun. So she was live with me on the other end and she was applying the products and I was talking her through it and we're sharing tips and tricks. She's also like a student of mine, so she knows everything that I teach, my style. So it worked out perfectly. Tomorrow on the Makeup Monday for Kevin O'Quan Beauty, I'm gonna be doing a rundown of all complexion, different formulas, different ways to use them, tips and tricks. So now you can see how the white is like pulling even more forward, right? I'm gonna take this white and do some here in the forehead too and bring forward the forehead. So just hitting the highest points, things that I really want to bring forward with white. I think right here we need a little bit of white. I squint a lot when I do this makeup because I like to really, OMG, I'm there on Mondays. Yeah, Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know what time that is where you are if you're from New York, but 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mondays, Kevin O'Quan Beauty Live. We do more of a focus on product tips and tricks. And then on Fridays, I go live and do interviews with professional artists, influencers, people that I look up to, people that I want to get to know a little bit more. I did the first one yesterday with my good friend Alex, which was amazing. Unfortunately, I think everyone was on Instagram at the same time, so visual wasn't there, but you heard it. So it was almost like a podcast of me interviewing Alex and how he got where he is. And if you know Alex Mayo, he's like so humble, one of the nicest people, hardworking, truly, truly hardworking, and believes in the craft and believes in his clients. And he's just a phenomenal human. So I interviewed him. We had some really juicy questions. So they're on my YouTube channel. So sign on to my YouTube. It's NickLujanArtistry. You'll get to see my skull tutorial there that already exists. And then I'll put this on there too. So the white is really bringing forward those cheekbones. The forehead. Oh, the time warp is on. I love this song. I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I didn't understand it at all when I was little. I thought it was the craziest bunch of humans and I just didn't get it. I didn't like it. I was like, this is weird and strange. And now as an adult, I love it. When I lived in Albuquerque, I used to do makeup for the Rocky Horror Picture every year. We would do a live version with like a band and people would audition to play all the characters. It was so much fun. And I was always backstage helping out with makeup. My friend Tahare was always magenta. She was the best magenta ever. I thought she was better than the actual magenta, by the way. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that out loud, but I'm saying it. Okay, how's this going? I remember when I met you in New York. Yes. Oh, hi. Okay. So now my brush from black is almost dry. I set it aside, I wiped it on a towel, and with it almost dry, I'm gonna just start to softly blend where my lilac and my aqua black are meeting. So I'm softening that transition. I love a 144 brush for this because it's tapered on all sides. So it comes to an angle this way, and then when I turn it this way, it comes to an angle this way. So I have a really long hair in the middle that is like the key to this brush. That long hair is the one that's the most important because it's where I can direct all the other bristles from. So I'm holding it very perpendicular to the face, very light pressure, because if I put too much pressure, I might get a hole in the makeup. How's that looking? See the difference? So I'm taking a little more black wet makeup. I just dipped in the dry side of my wet makeup, and I'm just softening all those edges. So we've been on here for almost 45 minutes already. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. I'm gonna work as quickly as I can. If it cuts off, I'll have to save the video and just start up again, because I know Instagram has a limit on how long you can go live. I still got 24 people in here. That's crazy. Thanks guys for sticking around. I know I want to do drag on Teddy. We haven't decided on a date yet for that. I was thinking tomorrow, but tomorrow might be just Sunday fun day. I might just need a day off, because I've been doing something every single day, whether it's on Kevin's live or my own live, or I've just been working on projects at home, and I feel like I just need a day to do nothing. So my workload has not slowed down at all throughout this whole thing. I'm just working from home now, which I don't mind. I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful for my job, and I love my job. If you guys know me, you know how invested I am in my work, and I always have been. My mom could tell you, ever since I was a little kid, like I was fully invested in wherever I was working at the time, and always give 200, 2000%. YouTube search, so it's Nick, N-I-C-K, and then Lujan, L-U-J-A-N, Artistry. NickLujanArtistry on YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok. I just started a TikTok this week. I'm gonna try TikTok, kids. I don't know about it though. It's like learning a new language. So now I'm gonna go through with some white and add some extra light to some certain areas of the makeup. So I'm just kind of flipping between all three colors. This is so dope. Keep on coming. Oh, thank you so much. I will. I want to. I want to do this for myself. Something I've always wanted to do and just never activated on it. But now that I'm stuck in home, I've got the time, I've got the product, I've got the tools. It's time to get busy and get creative. I think now more than ever, the world needs creativity because we're all stuck at home. And the only way to survive that is to be creative. With either cooking, reading, writing, anything you can do to stay motivated and inspired during all of this. Okay, I'm gonna take some black. I'm gonna switch to a clean brush, and I'm gonna mix up a batch of black, just like I did before with the purple. Remember I made like a little batch in the center that looks like mayonnaise? And then I'm gonna move all that product that I've mixed up to one side of my cake so that I have a wet side and a dry side. Now my brush is super wet. I'm gonna start to go in and really carve out certain areas. And remember, this isn't like the best skull because of my beard, but we're just going for it. The beard gets in the way of so much, but I can't survive without it. I feel naked without it. You're mine. White. So I'm just kind of rushing through and picking up all these different colors. I've got white on my brush now. Do the edge of this bone here. I'm gonna highlight this area of the brow and right up here. I want extra highlight in this area to really bring it forward. So it's really pulling forward this area. Yes, that's the highlight I'm looking for. Oh, thank you for subscribing. So I'm gonna just keep adding all my live videos on there too. Might as well. It takes a while to add them though because these files are so big. Yes, she's looking really zombie-ish now. This is perfect for me. It's my normal look. You guys remember Zombie Boy? He was so amazing. His tattoos were just incredible. Okay, so now there's a little bit of black on the brush, and I need to start creating some shadow. So very light pressure. See how I'm creating a little shadow here? Do the same thing here. So now we're all about details. We've got the groundwork down for our skull. The groundwork is laid. So now we've got to just add some fine details and sculpting in certain areas. I'm gonna put a little bit here on both sides, and that'll push the brow bone really forward by adding that contour right there. So contour and highlight is what makeup is all about, really. Yes, it's about coverage. Yes, about its color and playing and having fun. But contour and highlight is really one of those true arts behind makeup, the true science of makeup. You can change people's features by where you place light and dark, bring things forward, push things back. And Kevin O'Quan was a master of that. He's like the first person that I really learned highlight, contour, and makeup from his books back in the day. So we didn't have makeup school, not like you guys do. You guys have access to makeup school and YouTube and Instagram. When I say you guys, I mean like the younger generations. I know there's people in the room that grew up the same way I did. So we had to learn by practicing and playing and asking questions and copying looks from magazines. That's how we learned. So I'm putting like my own spin on it now. I'm putting some different shapes in here with the highlight. It's a little too bright. Let me see if I can dim it. That's better. So now you can see what's happening. Yes, she's sassy. Yes, we're almost there, guys. Getting closer. So I'm gonna add a little bit of depth here because it's just a little too clean. It's looking too clean. I want it to look a little bit dirtier here. And then we'll go into teeth. So for teeth, easy. It's like the easiest thing. Don't ever overcomplicate it for yourself ever again. I need a brush to do this. So I like this brush, this type of shape, or even a lip brush for this. And I'm gonna mix a batch of my white paint. And I'm gonna use this brush to apply a tooth. So this brush is already shaped like a tooth, which makes my job so much easier. Start in the middle and work side to side so you get symmetry and balance. See? Easy. Because that aqua black or that black eyeliner is already there for contrast. I'm not having to build contrast. It's already in the makeup. And then I'm just going to paint right over my mustache. If I didn't have a mustache, it would be much easier. Okay, let's take a little black here and we'll just block that out. Let's do the bottom teeth. Great, we're getting there. So I can put in a few more teeth on the bottom because the mustache isn't getting as much in the way there. Now with the same brush, I'm not adding any product to it. I want to clean off any excess product and just start to stretch my teeth down. So this looks like the roots of the teeth. See that? And I would do the same thing on top too. If I didn't have a mustache, you would see the lines a lot better. So with a dry brush, I'm gonna just like fake some of these. just to give some movement and direction in the makeup. Otherwise it looks flat, it needs a little movement. So that's why I'm pulling these up and then out. There we go. Gives you kind of like an emaciated look. Very, very Game of Thrones. I'm gonna take a little black and cover up some of the white that I didn't like. So this is pretty much it for the skull. How do you guys feel? Yeah, I started with waterproof black, Nat Buzz. So if you guys don't know Nat's Buzz down at the bottom here, she is one of the most incredible like artists for character work. I love her work. I followed her for years, and like, you know, we don't really have a lot of communication back and forth, but I see her work and I'm always just like amazed. So yeah, starting with a waterproof black as a base, your contrast is already there. So I did that for the eyes, I did that for the teeth, and I did that for this area right in here too. And now I'm just kind of finessing it and like adding my own flair, my own style. So like nothing that I'm doing now is on anatomical base. It's really just for fun and creativity and creating more character and movement in the makeup. Otherwise it starts to look flat. So I want to really bring some things forward with white paint. And this is wet makeup from Makeup Forever. It's like Chroma Cake or Krylon. They make aqua color. Who else makes? Maron makes Paradise paint. And each formula is unique and different for different things. Like the Maron paint I really love for detail work and for line work because the saturation is there for you. But for blending, I still struggle with blending with it. It takes me a little bit longer. So I'll use that after for like extra details or for brightening color because their colors are really bright. Now, if you're looking for a metallic wet makeup, it's nearly impossible to find. But Maron's Paradise Metallics are incredible. Like if you bought the gold wet makeup or the gold Chroma Cake, it wouldn't be as easy to work with. But Paradise got the formula perfect. Whatever they did, theirs are amazing. This is a clean purple brush, a clean lilac brush. So what I need is like a costume, something to frame all this and bring it together. You know, those last minute details will make such a difference in the makeup. Let me see if I have a wipe. I need a wipe. My fingers are really dirty. I found a wipe. I couldn't find wipes earlier. Oh, thank you so much. Frightening. Yes, today's all about frightening. So this week I went scary. Last week I did like Cirque du Soleil drag makeup on Saturday. Next week I want to do like more straight drag, and I want to try, if I can, to convince the Creative Boot Camp, my friends Elijah and Yvonne, to join me next Saturday at the same time around 2 p.m. These girls at the Creative Makeup Boot Camp are amazing. So I've only got 2 minutes left. In this last 2 minutes, I just want to thank you guys for spending so much time with me. She agrees with me that the Maron Metallics are amazing. I love this makeup. I'll probably just like sign back on and keep going for a little bit to add a few more details. But how do I look? Do I look thin? Boo. See you guys next time.